Good evening and welcome to Ask Mike Anything, the hour a week where you can ask me anything. Type it into the comments. I will do what I can to answer. And while I'm waiting for you all to log in, I'm going to flip over to Facebook real quick, make sure my audio is working all right. Let's see. Oh, now Facebook's being weird. We'll do that. So go ahead, type in those questions. I can always hit up. Oh, there it is. All right. So I can always hit up some question cards that I got, and we can go off of those. But yeah, hit me up. I'm not seeing anybody on there yet, so I'm not going to dig into that too much. I hope everybody had a great Holy Week and a great Easter. I know I had a lot of fun. It's weird, right? Like I want to say I had a lot of fun on Easter with worship and everything else, but it's weird because Easter for me is pre-recorded and we put stuff together throughout the week, and so yeah, tends to it just feels weird, right? To say, oh, I had a great time with Easter worship, and I did, and watching it and participating with folks that way, but also it's just, yeah, it's weird. It's weird. Still okay. We got somebody there. So again, any questions you got, go ahead and hit me up. And I will do my best to answer them. I got some cards picked out here. And we'll answer those if nothing else. So go ahead, hit me with your best shot. So let's see. Anything. I know we have done some bonfires lately that have been nice. The weather's been nice enough to be outside and have a fire going, and but not so nice that you can't not wear a sweatshirt. So like every sweatshirt I own now smells like smoke. Yeah. Nothing? No questions? All right, I'm going to get started with a card then. Took a week off too. Let's see. All right, we'll start with this one. What's something that people think makes them look cool but actually makes them look ridiculous? I'm going to go with mullets and man buns. Yeah, that's yeah. Of course, I am not one to speak about hairstyles. Yeah, but my dad, big news. My dad on April Fool's Day, it didn't shave his head, but got a haircut to the point he no longer has a mullet. In fact, it's kind of, well, maybe it's a reverse mullet, because it kind of is business in the back and a little more party up front. But all right, I'm gonna go with another card. Type in those questions, folks. Have your jaws would you rather have your jaws wired shut for a month, drinking only out of a straw, or wear an eye patch for a year? Could I do both? I'd be okay with both of those, I think. Like if I had to have the pain associated with the reason for my jaw being wired shut, I'd probably choose the eye patch. So, all right. Anything, hit me up. Or this is going to be a really short one, and that's okay too, but I'm okay with that. All right. I'm not seeing anything. Oh, okie dokie. Well, I'm just going to talk about stuff then too. I can just do that. So, so I had planned worship and everything up through Easter, and now we are post Easter, and so the planning for the next segment of time begins. Oh, love you too, Scotty Wagner. Miss you, buddy. Hope things are going well. Hope the water's out of the basement. Um, so so I didn't have anything like set in stone plans for the next segment, but the next segment of preaching for me um, comes in two flavors. It comes in the time between now and my last Sunday with St. Matthew's in Cherry Hill, and my first segment with Trinity, and so I actually sat down this morning after Fun with Faith and was able to go through and look at scriptures and music and things like that for that first segment. So that first segment, that between now and my last Sunday with St. Matthew's in Cherry Hill, I know what scriptures I'm preaching from. I know the hymns we're going to be singing. Tomorrow I'll start looking at different pieces of liturgy for those services and putting things together. But it feels like a very long time away, and still a very short time away. And then I'm also working on. So when I came to St. Matthew's, and then when I started at Cherry Hill 2 years later, what I did, you get you get July and August of the summer, and usually I like to do some type of series for the summer, whether it's preaching from, we're just going to take the summer and walk through, Ephesians or something. We're gonna do something themed together, and but when you have a summer that's broken up like this, where you're moving, and you're going into a new congregation, you want to try and figure out something that's gonna help people connect. And so what I did with St. Matthew's and Cherry Hill, and now I'm working on with Trinity, is gathering favorite scriptures from people in the congregation. So people would email me their favorite scripture, and I would plan a Sunday around that. And with Trinity, I'm going with the staff's favorite scriptures, and I'm still missing one, but we'll get there. And but I'll start out my first Sunday. I will preach my favorite scripture currently, and then we'll go from there to other staff scriptures. And part of that is I assume anyway, that if there is a favorite scripture for somebody, that it's one that they know and it means something to them specifically. And I think for that person, for those people who treasure that particular scripture, to hear that their new pastor's take on it, it could be a really good thing, right? Like, oh yes, our hearts are speaking the same language right here. Or it could be really bad, like, oh, you just destroyed that scripture for me. So but usually my experience is that it's going to be a good thing. So I'm excited about that. But it's a different mode of planning. So for this first segment between now and I think mid-June, I'm going based off the lectionary, which is prescribed scriptures for each week, and picking from those prescribed scriptures, and then hymns that go along with those scriptures. When it comes to these more random scriptures from people, I have to do a little more research, a little more digging, a little more considering when it comes to hymns and other pieces of liturgy to go with it. But I'm excited about it. It's not easy work, but it's fun work. So especially when it all comes together and comes together well. So there are a few of you out there. Do you have any questions for me other than what's up, buddy? Besides, just chilling. All right. I'm gonna go to another card. What's the longest you've ever waited in line for something, and what was it? Actual, like, I'm gonna go with actually physically waiting in line. I want to say it was the Raging Bull roller coaster at Six Flags in Illinois when Raging Bull first opened. And I think it was one of those, like, the way the harnesses were. Like, I waited in line the whole time and couldn't ride the roller coaster. No, that wasn't it. Nope, it would have to probably Seven Dwarfs Mine Car ride at Disney. Even with a fast pass, I think we were waiting like 2 hours or something. It was a long wait. So, all right, I have not seen any questions. Makes me wonder if comments are down somewhere, but well, I have to say that. It's just nobody has a question. That's all right. Kentucky Mule, by the way. So, Bree, so when Bree and I first got married, I had hair, and I still have hair. I do shave it. I'm sure that it wouldn't grow back nearly as full and lush as I would like it to if I tried. But when we first got married, we realized, budget-wise, I spent a lot more money on my hair every month than she did. In fact, there were months I would spend more getting my hair cut and product for it than she did in a year on hers. And so when she actually goes and gets her hair done, it's a big deal. And her and Grandma Kathy went this week, and they got nice haircuts, and they did some color. Bree's got some pink in her hair, which is awesome. For the longest time, she was just very worried about how people would take that. And I like that she's able to let loose a little bit. And so now I think the girls are getting their hair cut. And I know this is just super wonderful information you all want to hear, but they're getting their hair cut for like the first time, I think, 2 years that we haven't just like trimmed off dead ends and split ends and let them go. But so they're getting their haircuts this week, and I think they're getting a little color too, for because next week they're both supposed to be back to in-person school for a bit. Brian wants to know, does the guitar behind me work? Yes, the one over this shoulder works, as does the ukulele up over here. And there's a ukulele, you can't see it, but it's right behind me. And my Breedlove guitar, which is actually not on camera, also works. How many boxes did you pack this week? Me personally, none. This last week was not a packing week for me. This was a rough week. So, I make no. It's not a secret that I've struggled with depression since our son died. And just before the pandemic, the antidepressant med that I'd been on was no longer going to be covered by our insurance. And so they had these recommendations for other ones. I went back to the doctor. We tried a different category. It had some side effects that we didn't like, and they said, "Oh, just try, keep going on it. Maybe they'll, give it another 6 weeks, whatever." And they didn't go away, and so I couldn't get a hold of the doctor as quickly as I wanted to, and so I just tapered myself off. And I'm usually okay. Like, I don't have my depression is very much a um, very tough to get motivated to do things kind of depression. And so I put off calling the doctor and just all that stuff. And then it finally gets to the point where, like, I have to manufacture reasons for me to be under the gun so that I can get motivated. Like, I have to intentionally set deadlines that I can't break, and that's a tough thing to do when you're just setting an arbitrary deadline for yourself. And so finally, I'm like, all right, I gotta get a hold of the doctor again, and we'll get this sorted out. And I did. We had a nice video visit, and she prescribed a new medication, but I wasn't thinking when I decided, okay, I'm going to start this new medication Holy Week. And for those of you that don't know, I know Katie knows, Holy Week is a busy time, pandemic or no. And having that be the start of the time you're using a new medicine that you don't know all the effects of, it made things a lot more difficult, because when I start on this, my experience when I started an antidepressant, a new one, I have hazy days in the beginning, where I'm feeling pretty good, but I can't focus. I sit down to write and nothing comes. And so last week was starting the new medication in the midst of Holy Week, sitting at the keyboard a lot, not being able to get anything written. So definitely a rough week with no boxes packed. I didn't even think, like, we didn't put out a bulk item with the trash. It was just a rough week. But we made it through. And we have the moving company is coming this week to do the estimation, and I'm sure that will light a fire. Other questions? I'm gonna have to try. I haven't tried playing my guitar through this microphone yet. I have to try that one of these days. All right. Oh, so Bree got pink in her hair. Grandma got blue, just like peekaboo kind of stuff for their hair. And I live in a house with all women, so it's okay that I know that, guys. And even if I didn't, it's still okay. It's a thing to know. And Michaela loves Grandma's blue. And so Michaela wants to get blue at the ends of her red. I think Braylee wants rainbow, but that's a little out of our price range. So I think she's going to get just to pick a color. And chances are she'll do like a pink or purple like Mommy did. I, on the other hand, am just going to keep sporting the gray-red beard here thing. Though I think I have a little dye left. I might do that. Take the gray out for a couple more weeks. All right. Well, y'all are very chatty this week. That's all right. Hey, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to try my guitar out, because why not? Hang on. All right. Brian Koch, are you still listening? If you are, you got to let me know if this how this works with this microphone, because I've never done kind of the dual audio thing here. I might have to tune. Hang on. Because, why not? You're watching. Yeah, let's tune in a bit. Let's give that a shot. So I'm going to do a song that I wrote because I haven't done it in a while, and I feel like doing it. This capo is not my favorite. Wake up, open your eyes and see. Well, each new day comes new mercy. Wake up, open your eyes and see. With each new day comes new mercy. We can rise above the fall. God's grace and mercy restore us all. No one can condemn us, for our God is with us. Wake up, open your eyes and see. With each new day comes new mercy. Wake up, open your eyes and see. With each new day comes new mercy. Through the valley of the shadow of death, when you feel like you got nothing left, we pray, dear God, please hear us. By your grace, be near us. Wake up, open your eyes and see. With each new day comes new mercy. With each new day comes new mercy. With each new day comes new mercy. Wake up, open your eyes and see. new mercy. Hey, I hope that did not sound like total junk. I'll have to go back and play it later, play the recording later and see how it went out. But yeah, so that's my Breedlove guitar. That was my new guitar I got around Christmas time. I absolutely love that guitar. So Katie asked, do I have a pub theology place scoped out for Grand Rapids? Scoped out, yes. Have I actually been in it yet? No, but I've been told there is a brewery that is, I think, literally 2 blocks or 3 blocks from Trinity called Vivant or Vivant. I'll have to figure that out. That I have already said, there's a brewery that close to the church. It's actually in an old church building. We're just gonna have to call that Trinity West Campus, as it is west of the church building. So whether that becomes the place or not, I don't know. I have a feeling I'm just going to franchise out Doubt on Tap once we can meet in person, and hopefully that will mean when some of my Doubt on Tap friends end up over in the Grand Rapids area, they can stop in and enjoy that as well. So yeah. Any other questions for tonight? Other than the ones that I have on my cards in front of me here. No, that's all right. If you asked me questions, it would be helpful because Braylee has it in her head that we're going to play charades. Because she took Bree on a walk this afternoon, and I think went to every little free library in our neighborhood, and brought something from like each of them, including there was a box of card game kind of thing for charades. So she's excited about that. When are you going to see me in person again? Let me look at this, Brian, because I'm just looking at the weather here, right? So Friday night, Good Eats food truck is going to be in the St. Matthews parking lot. We're kind of excited about that. Haven't had them before. Tomorrow, it's supposed to be 78 degrees out. Wednesday, 79 degrees out. I don't know. What do you say, Brian? Do you want to do we could do a driveway soiree. I'm willing to pull out the fire pit and burn some wood and can hang out, have a good time. Let me know. Does Tuesday or Wednesday work for you? Let me know. And if they don't, like Thursday's 72, but like nearly 100% chance of rain. So Tuesday looks like the better night. And for the record, Gabby is always welcome. So yeah, that's the answer to that question. Let's pick a night and do it. Driveway soiree. You're in, but also what about a bomber breakfast? Okay. My second vaccination is the end of this month, which means by the second week of May, I should be like as vaccinated as I'll be. At that point, I think I might be okay. Though, did you get? I think you got back. I thought you got vaccinated, but all right. What am I preaching in the next few weeks? Okay, so actually, this is actually pretty good because I have my my lectionary resource here. So April 11th, that's next Sunday, I'm doing the lectionary John 20, 19 through 31. It is primarily it is the Doubting Thomas passage from John, but I am going to be focusing on a different aspect of the passage because we always do Doubting Thomas, which isn't bad, but also like there's more to that passage. Let's see. April 18th, I'm going with Acts, which is people wondering if it was Peter that was able to make the lame man walk, and he starts preaching about Jesus, as he's wont to do, and but the version I'm going with has a line that says, "And you killed the author of life, whom God raised from the dead. To this we are witnesses." And that's going to be my focus, I think, on that Sunday. And then the 25th. 25th is John 10, the Good Shepherd. So that's always a good popular way to go. The Good Shepherd. May 2nd. I'm doing the abides. I am the true vine. Abide, 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 abide. And then May 9th, John 15. This is my commandment, that you love one another as I have loved you. So that's the next few weeks. So I'm kind of really excited, and I hope this works out. And I hate that I'm putting this out there into the universe, even though there's only 5 of you watching right now. But on May 13th, is Ascension Day, and it's Acts 1 through 11, and there's 2 verses right in the middle. It says, so when they the disciples had come together, they asked Jesus, "Lord, is this the time when you'll restore the kingdom to Israel?" He replied, "It's not for you to know the times or periods that the Father has set by his own authority." And I'm pretty sure the title of that sermon is going to be, "Are We There Yet?" Because that's pretty much the disciples saying, "Are we there yet?" And he's like, "Shut up, just shut up." So so lots of fun stuff coming up. I'm excited about the lectionary in the next few weeks. I was pleased as punch when I went through and saw how it laid out. I don't know if I could have picked a better closing sequence of scriptures. And granted, I did pick them out of the 4 available, but you know what I mean. So, do I prefer college ruled or wide ruled notebook paper? I'm a college ruled guy. Isn't Ascension Day about the principal from Buffy the Vampire Slayer? Oh, buddy, that's a deep cut that I am not exactly remembering. So, maybe. Do I ever not preach the lectionary? Yes. So when we get into seasons, right? Ordinary time, I'm usually going to pick the lectionary. When we get into Advent, when we get into Lent, and when we get into when we get into those kinds of things, I tend to try and go with a series, something that has a little more cohesion to it. But I also, like I was mentioning earlier, for the summer, I usually like to, I'm going to pick a book and we'll preach through it, kind of how I'll do. Except this summer, we got to split it, right, because we're moving. So when I sat down to plan out, preaching Eastertide, sticking with the lectionary is usually pretty safe. Same thing with Christmastide, right? So I usually do the series in a run up to Christmas and the run up to Easter, and then for the summer, and then the rest of the time, it's usually lectionary, unless we're hitting on. If I have a specific, I need to preach a specific stewardship kind of few weeks, that may be different than lectionary. may have some themes to that. Yeah. I do have a TikTok. I don't post anything on it. I think I have one video that like I accidentally took of my feet, or so I was, my feet up in the recliner kind of thing. So I didn't. I think I downloaded TikTok once a long time ago when it first started, and I'm like, this is stupid. And then in the lead up to the election, there was all this talk of Donald Trump wanting to ban TikTok from the United States. And I'm like, maybe I'm missing something. And now, based on all of my likes, TikTok is feeding me a steady stream of silly cat and dog videos. That I scroll through the For You page a little bit. I like stuff that I like. And then usually at dinner, when we sit down to dinner, after we've all eaten and we're kind of just sitting around, I'll start showing some of the funny cat and dog videos to the kids. But I also like, there's a guy called Angry Reactions who says beautiful, wonderful, amazing things, but in an angry voice. And like his face looks angry, and I love that guy. I'll go over to his page and scroll through stuff just to feel better about myself, because he'll say nice things, even though he doesn't know me, but he just says nice things to people. It's nice. So my thoughts about it in particular are it's okay. It's a good time waster. It's a good kind of make you laugh during the day. Can also make you mad. So I tend to stay away from those kinds of things. Michaela's very interested in it. And there's a way to very much limit what she can see. Part of that is we took away her iPod, and part of that is she has limits that are set. Because I know there are things on there that can be disturbing to some viewers. So, but all in all, it's like any technology. There are good points to it. There are bad points to it. I also love, there are several preachers on there, pastors, who give their hot takes or some really well thought out arguments that I think make a difference for some people who hear them. Brian, I agree. TikTok is hilarious. I do love it. It's one of those I need to waste 5 or 10 minutes of my day. I'm in a waiting room somewhere. I'm waiting in line somewhere. Yeah. Bree doesn't let me do TikTok while I'm driving though. So just kidding. I would never do TikTok while I'm driving. It's a joke. Oh, yeah. So anything else? Any other questions? Yeah. I'm excited that the food trucks are starting up again. Oh, Brian. It could easily take some time. So sometimes if I know, well, today, for instance, so we started on Disney Plus. You can do the Marvel Cinematic Universe in timeline order, right? So it starts with not in the order the movies were made, but in the order they happen chronologically. And so I started doing that, but I'm like, you know what? I've never done this with Michaela. She's old enough to see these movies. She's seen some of them. So I call her in. She was on spring break, right? And we start watching through those. But today she wasn't down here. And I finished up my planning stuff this morning and had some time before lunch and whatever. And so I'm like, all right, this is like, I would take half hour, 45 minutes to do, to watch a show, start a movie with Michaela, whatever. Well, Michaela's not. You know what? TikTok. I set a timer. I scroll through TikTok for a bit. How many Sundays do I have left? That's a good question. It's not a lot. 1, 2, 3. About 10 Sundays left. Michaela's last orthodontist appointment, they scheduled her. They were like, okay, she's ready to come back in for some other things in 11 weeks. And I'm like, ooh, let me look at that. And it was like, that was the week where the movers are coming. So, yeah, 10 Sundays left. Now, my plan is, because we don't know who's coming yet for St. Matthew's or Cherry Hill. Hopefully in the next few weeks we'll find out. But even when we do find out, there is a gap between their first Sunday and my last Sunday. And that gap is, let me look at that. It's going to be 1, 2, 3 weeks, probably. And right now it's all pre-recorded. It's all online. And I don't necessarily see that changing at this point, right? 10 weeks, especially after the spike. I mean, we're in the midst of stupidity right now. So it was, it's a difficult, thing there, but I am working on, once we officially set the last Sunday, what the last Sunday is going to be, because nothing is like official. That's my official last. I'm going to have some guest preachers record, either lay preachers or friends who are preachers. And I'm going to, it'll be rough. It'll be shorter than what we normally do, but I'm going to put together in advance those 3 Sundays that can then, automatically play for folks, because I don't want people left hanging. So we're gonna try and do that. But yeah. So 10 Sundays left. Oh my gosh, that's hard. It's hard to believe. Yeah. So, and then my first Sunday, for sure, my first Sunday that I'm in the pulpit, so to speak, whatever that's gonna look like, in Grand Rapids is going to be July 11th. District superintendents look to be making July 11th the start Sunday, because July 4th is the actual first Sunday of July, and that's kind of that's a low attendance day in a normal year, to be trying to to start. So. Brian wants to know, can you give me another food truck update or rundown on upcoming events? Okay, food truck this coming Friday, the 9th, is the Good Eats food truck from 4 to 7 in the parking lot at St. Matthew's. I don't know what is on their menu, though I am told it is very, very good and edible. So you can come out for that. And then on the 23rd, that's 2 weeks from this Friday, Little Caesars Pizza Truck will be here. So yeah, those are the ones coming up. I don't have any other ones planned, partially because I've been really busy, and partially because there's going to come a point when I'm not the pastor here, and somebody else has to make the plans and say the yeses and things like that. Oh, David Weber is on. All right, this should be good. Given that Christianity uses a similar construct to several other religions, why is Jesus the correct God? Who is said to have performed miracles, said to have died, said to have resurrected, to follow. Yeah. So there has always been, and my hope is that it's dying out, Dave. There has always been in the area of religion and belief this idea that one is right and everything else is wrong. And I think that whole concept is flawed. So Christianity uses a similar construct to several other religions because the goal of most religion whether we're talking Islam, Judaism, Christianity, Hinduism. It's about it's about stepping it up. It's about being better or the best we can possibly be, in the most general terms. Okay. Yes, there are different ideas, different deities, different thoughts of how those things are accomplished. But ultimately, in very general broad strokes, we're looking at how we can better ourselves, how we can be closer to whatever divinity is, whatever that greatest conceivable being is. So Christianity, and I'm not gonna say Christianity corners the market on this, because there are other religions that do this too, but Christianity has been the most visible about it, I think, where they are the only. They take monotheism to new heights. We take monotheism to new heights. And we have, I think what we end up with is we end up with some misunderstandings of a culture we know very little about, maybe just enough to be dangerous. And we place things into a context that is favorable to our own beliefs. You will, Dave, I can tell you, you will never see me talking to a devout Muslim saying, "You're wrong. Your belief is wrong. Your God is wrong. You're going to hell." You're never going to see me talking to a devout Jew, devout Buddhist, and that's not about God. I get that. You're not going to see me talking to anybody saying, you're not going to see me talking to an atheist saying that your lack of belief in God is wrong. You're just not. Because in my belief, God is bigger than the labels that we put on things. And if we try to take and cram God into this absolute little box that we like, that we think we understand, and things hang together cohesively for our logical arguments about this, that, and the other thing, we're going to end up where we've been, right? We're going to end up in these places where we have holy wars, where we have crusades, where we feel like our God is calling us to shed blood. I think if we see a similar construct to several other religions, it's not because Jesus is the correct God. It's because God is not limited the way we try to limit God. We try to limit God to one pathway, one idea, one religion. And I just don't think that's fair to do. So there's one point in the telling, and there's one point in the telling of the story of God's people that we see in the Christian Bible, where God chooses Abraham, and that's going to be the line. And God makes a covenant with Abraham, and then God makes a covenant with Moses, and God makes a covenant with David. That we're going to be God's people, and they're supposed to do a thing, and they don't do the thing that they're supposed to do. And then Jesus comes, and this is supposed to be the new covenant, the New Testament, right? And Jesus talks about, I have sheep that are not of this flock, in John chapter 10. And Jesus talks about, and Jesus goes to Gentile and Samaritan people, and has interaction with them that he shouldn't have. Because the path is getting a whole lot bigger. If Jesus came to simply say, I'm the only way, that's it. We would have much different stories of Jesus. His teachings would be much, much different. At least that's that's the way I look at it. But good question. Hope that helped. Actually, I hope that muddied the waters a little bit for you. Any other questions? I will take any. For the record, Dave, when I have to go back to Ohio to get my my second shot, I'm going to stop in and check for some Wellers for you again, because I'm that kind of guy. All right. I am not seeing any other questions. That's okay. I have not. So I thought about pulling out one of my journals from later in life than when I was 11 or 12, but like I can laugh at 11 and 12-year-old me. I can laugh at 11 or 12-year-old me. Laughing at 18, 19, 20-year-old me is a little different, I think, right now. Red or blue? Red. Waller. I knew you'd do that. Just didn't know you were there. So how does Jesus' statement, I am the way, the truth, and the life, no one comes to the Father but through me, square with your last answer? It does and it doesn't, right? In the very literal sense, it doesn't. In the sense of we have we are taking a segment out of John, and we have done a fair amount of our own modern understandings to exactly what that means. So tell me, does that mean that Christianity is the way, or that Jesus is the way? And if Jesus is the way, can Jesus be, well, is that Jesus? Is that Christ? Is that there's a great book. I don't know if you've read it. It's The Universal Christ by Richard Rohr. He does a really good section on this. But the way, the truth, and the life, no one comes to the Father but through me, or God through me, does not mean that the current Christian doctrines of salvation and evangelism are what we're talking about. It's through Christ, and there are people whose faith healed them. Stories we read in our scriptures that didn't know who Jesus was. They thought he was a prophet. They thought he was a teacher. They thought he was a healer. They didn't necessarily know he was the Messiah. They didn't know he was God incarnate. They just had they knew he could heal. And so that way, that truth, that life, doesn't necessarily mean following the Romans road to salvation. It doesn't necessarily mean that what Christianity has become is it. That people have to say the name Jesus. We use that. When you dig into Richard Rohr's The Universal Christ, it is this reality that Christ is much bigger than Christ is much bigger than simply the name of Jesus. And I'm sure I'm butchering it, but it is just because that's what that says, and I don't deny that that's what that says, but it doesn't mean that Christianity, as we know it, Christianity, as it's been for the last 2,000 years, is necessarily what Jesus was talking about. We even have Paul saying things. Let me think. I think it's Romans. Paul talks about people who do by nature the things contained in the law, right, are a law unto themselves. Essentially, that is, God is working even in places where you don't think God is working. So I am a Christian. I follow Jesus, and I follow Jesus as a way for personal healing, as a way for seeking to heal the world around me. And healing is another way to translate the word that often gets translated as saving or salvation. Yeah, and I agree with Dave Todd Waller. The Universal Christ is a great read, and you definitely should pick it up. And I promise I will not draw pictures in it if you leave it at the table we're sitting at. If we're sitting at a table and you bring it. All right. Well, we almost made it an hour, so that's good. Are there any other questions? We still got a couple minutes left. I'm willing to take them if you got them. And actually, Todd, I thought I had an extra copy of it around here that I would gladly give to you, except, you made $10 billion in real estate this year. No, that's not the reason I won't give it to you. I won't give it to you because I think I packed it and it's no longer here. I don't know what box it's in. All right. Coker, yes, we do need to make sure we have guitars in hand for the next get together. If it's in my driveway, man, it's super easy because I got a few laying around here. So for sure. I'm actually really excited. So Trinity has I'm finding things out right as the transitions happen. Trinity has a praise band that's kind of like they've come together over the last few years. There might be a spot in it for me. I'm kind of excited about that idea of playing in a band again. I haven't done that in a long time. I miss a band. Yeah. Todd, I hope you're laughing at my the math I did on your real estate earnings this year. For those of you that don't know, my friend the Todd is one of, if you need to, and he's not paying me to say this, if you are in the market to buy or sell a home in the Ypsi Ann Arbor area, talk to the Todd. Not only will he do some good work for you, but he's a good dude. He is a really good dude. All right. So Katie says, are we crazy for buying a gutted 1963 Airstream? Yeah. So I don't think so. I think you're crazy if you think you're going to fit 8 kids and you and your husband in there. If it's like just you and Scott and the young ones, you'd probably be all right. It'd be fun. Yeah. So, and Todd, it's not kind words. Well, I mean, it may be kind words, but it's truth. It is truth. You and Dave and Brian have been really, really, not just really good friends to me, but like brothers. And I hope that a move 2 hours down the road is not gonna preclude our brotherhood. I love you guys a lot. Yeah. Oh, so Todd, Dave, and Brian, we had a conversation. We had a conversation last week, and I followed up on it, like I said I would. But I also said, you know what? I need to make absolutely certain that if I got to make absolutely certain, because we were worried that the new parsonage is very small. Smaller than what we have now, and that like when we were doing the walkthrough, I was fairly certain I wasn't going to be able to get in the shower. It was going to hit me here, all this stuff. So I think we had this conversation on Tuesday last week. Thursday, Grandma Kathy hadn't seen it yet, so we drove to Grand Rapids, me and Grandma Kathy, so she could see the parsonage, and so I could actually step into the shower and make sure that my perceptions were right. And it's okay. I was able to get in. I fit. We need to, change the door on it. That's about it. But yeah, checked things out, followed up on some stuff, and yeah. So, but I appreciate your concern and your advice there. All right, so we're at an hour, guys. I love all of you so much. Thank you for joining me. Thanks for asking questions. Thanks for making fun of me a little bit. I hope that you have a good rest of your evening. Remember, if you are in the Ypsi area, Friday night, 4 to 7, is the Good Eats food truck in the parking lot at St. Matthew's. If the weather's nice, typically people are gonna bring chairs and sit in the lawn. The forecast for Friday looks like it's gonna get near 70 with some rain, but come out and get some food and enjoy some distance time together. Dave and Tom and anybody else in the Ypsi area and Brian, I talked with Brian a little earlier in the Ask Mike Anything. He wanted to know when we're going to get together again. I'm fine doing a 6-foot driveway soiree, maybe Tuesday night. So hit me up off of the live stream, and we'll plan that. I'll pull out the fire pit and the firewood, and we can have some time together. I would love that, especially this week. I would love that a lot. So hit me up. Let me know if that's something you can do. All right, folks. Thanks again. Love you lots, and we will catch you next week. Monday through Thursday, Fun with Faith. Me and Bree, 10 a.m. Peace.